Hey everyone, what's up? How's it going? I'm Mariah, and today I'm going to be telling you all about the My Chemical Romance concerts and the Firefly Music Festival, so let's get into it. So you guys, September was one of the best months of my life, no exaggeration. I saw so many incredible shows. I feel so lucky to have seen so many amazing artists back to back. So My Chemical Romance is my favorite artist of all time. Yes, I chose a favorite artist. I love all of their songs. Actually, they're my sister's favorite band too, so it's really fun. We kind of bond over that. And we actually call them My Chemical No Skip Romance because honestly, all of their songs are so good. Most of the time when you have a favorite artist, I feel like it's very rare to find an artist where you really like all of their songs, but they're it for me. Their first album is a little bit rough, I will say, so if you go dive into their whole collection, I will tell you that their first album is very raw. The vocals are a little bit jarring at first, but the more I listened to it, the more I loved it, and the guitar is incredible. Ray Toro on the guitar, he's a god. This all started when they announced their reunion in, I want to say it was the end of October 2019. So they broke up in, I think, 2013, and I started liking them only a few years ago. So honestly, I thought that I would never get to see them in concert just because they were broken up and they're getting a little bit older. They're kind of like in their early mid 40s now. But then they announced their reunion, and they had one reunion show in December 2019, and everybody lost their minds. Like, I remember staying up all night with my sister watching the live stream on our phones. Someone was like, I think on Instagram Live, like playing the whole show. Thank God for them. So anyways, they have this incredible reunion show. They announced that they're going to tour, so the tickets for tour went on sale in January 2020, before COVID, obviously. So my sister and I bought tickets to 2 shows because we don't know if they plan to make new music. We don't know if they're going to tour again. So we figured, okay, this is our favorite band. Let's see them twice. So we bought tickets for Boston and Newark, New Jersey because they're from New Jersey. So we thought it would be really fun to see them kind of like at their hometown show. We were so excited. We got really good seats. We paid a little bit extra because, like I said, they're our favorite. So to us, it was worth it. Then, of course, March rolls around and COVID happens. We were supposed to see them in September 2020, but obviously that got postponed twice. Now I'm no longer living on the East Coast, I'm here in LA, so I actually flew back home to Connecticut to go see those shows. And it was kind of a pain because the first show was on like September 7th, so it was in the beginning of the month, and then the second show was September 21st, a few weeks apart. And then in addition to those 2 shows, they announced that they were going to be headlining at Firefly Music Festival in Delaware. So that's close enough to us in Connecticut. We figured we could make the drive. And it was actually right after the second concert that we were gonna see. So I went home to Connecticut for 3 weeks, which felt like a really long time, I'm not gonna lie. I've only been here in LA for about 5 months, but I had only been here for 4 months. So it felt kind of weird to go home for such an extended period of time very quickly after moving. And funny enough, it was actually also during Mercury retrograde, which is a time where you revisit the past few months. So it's just kind of funny the way that it lined up that I went home during a very kind of reflective time. So anyways, we went to the concert in Boston and me and my sister were so excited. It was our first time seeing our favorite band together. We were like over the moon, got all, dressed up in our little punk outfits. We were ready. We had such a blast. They put on an amazing show. I've been following the tour on Instagram a little bit, and at every show, Gerard has been wearing a different outfit. So for the Boston show, he wore like a black onesie and he painted his face white with like a black, kind of like a bandit type of mask. And he used to paint his face like this way back in the day when they would tour, so that was really exciting to see him dressed up like that. Their music and the band in general is very theatrical, which I love, so it was really cool to see them in their element like that. So for this show in Boston, we had really good seats. It was just on stage left. We wanted to be on Frank's side. Frank's one of the guitarists. He's our favorite member, aside from Gerard. So we wanted to see Frank in particular. And we were so close to the stage, like only a few rows away. I'll insert some clips at the end of this video so you guys can see just how close we were. You can see some of my favorite songs in action. We just had the time of our lives. They played so many good songs, not only their most popular ones like Welcome to the Black Parade, of course, Helena, stuff like that, but they also played a couple songs off their first album, which I really wasn't expecting, so that was really cool to see. I think they did that for the super fans like us. So the concert was amazing, and then I had 2 weeks in between at home while I was waiting for the next concert. So I made a lot of plans to see friends and family. It was really nice to see my parents, my sister, my brother, my niece. I definitely stayed busy seeing a lot of people. My dad also knows that I love art, of course, so he bought our family tickets to the Van Gogh exhibit, and that was super cool. It was like we were all in a room and the art is on the wall, it's moving, there's music. It was really cool, a very visual, interactive experience. So I'll insert some photos from the Van Gogh exhibit too if you're interested in that. But yeah, it was really nice to be home and see all my friends and family. But I will say, it was also kind of weird. My parents did a little bit of renovations on the house. Of course, they changed my bedroom, so it didn't obviously look the way that I left it. They ripped up the carpet. The house was looking kind of different. So it was kind of weird to be home because even though I didn't leave very long ago, things were already kind of different. And then as I'm seeing my friends and talking with them, hearing about how their lives have also changed in a short amount of time was kind of weird. It was almost like, wow, like I couldn't have my old life back even if I wanted it. Which I don't. I'm so happy that I moved here to LA. I love it so much. But it was just kind of weird. Life moves on, you know? Things never stay the same. Things are always gonna change, so you have to change with it. Also, at the same time that I was home, transiting Neptune was exactly conjunct my natal Saturn. And I know that probably doesn't mean much to you guys, but basically Neptune is the planet of confusion, of fantasies, illusion, and Saturn is the planet of structure, boundaries. So they're kind of opposites in a way. And those energies were being blended in my life at the time. And as you guys probably know, I'm kind of in a transitionary period in my career. I recently left my full-time recruiting job and I'm kind of looking at other jobs. Anyways, all of this is just to say that I was really going through it while I was home. So it was really weird to be back in the place that I left. And of course I left for certain reasons. So to kind of be reminded of those things and also be going through this major astrological transit, I felt it. I felt weird. I feel a lot better now, and that's the thing too, knowing that feelings are temporary, they pass, you have to feel them. It's good to reflect and think about what it brings up for you and what you want your life to look like, what maybe changes you need to make in your life to make things better. But it was just a very reflective, interesting time. So while I was having the time of my life at the concerts, there was also this period of kind of uncomfortableness and uncertainty. It was bittersweet. I love seeing family and friends, but it also brought up a lot of uncomfortable feelings as well. Anyways, I got through that period. I had a blast seeing my niece. She's 6 years old and she still looks pretty much the same as when I left, but she ran and jumped into my arms and I picked her up, and her mom said to me, "Oh, that might be one of the last times you'll pick her up because she's getting big." And that threw me because I'm small and she's a tall kid. I'm gonna try to pick her up the next time I see her, but it made me sad, and I'm sure she's gonna look different the next time I see her. So, you know, that was bittersweet as well. I love spending time with her, and it's sad that I don't get to see her all the time. But I really tried to make the most of that time. I went to her ninja class, which is like, if you've seen the TV show American Ninja Warrior, they have that for the kids where they're like pretty much parkouring all over the gym with these little, it was very cute. Fun to see her running around and having fun. And she was really happy that I came to her class. So I had a lot of really good family quality time, and then it was time for the next concert. We drove down to Newark, New Jersey for the second My Chemical Romance concert, and this time my sister's boyfriend and her friend from college joined us. And our seats weren't quite as good, but honestly their energy at this show was a lot better, which I kind of expected. And that's saying a lot. I was amazed by the first show, but I think I liked the second show even better. Gerard wore this shiny gold glitter suit and some sunglasses. He looked amazing, and I think them being in their home state of New Jersey, they really brought the extra energy. The crowd was incredible, and they played different songs. Some songs were the same, of course, like their classics, but they really mixed up the set list, which I appreciated. And they played my favorite song, Head First for Halos, which is off their first album. The guitar in that song is just so good, and I was so excited that they played that song because I wasn't really expecting them to. I took a ton of videos. I'll insert clips, like I said, and photos, of course, of Gerard in his majestic outfit. So that was a blast. We had so much fun in Newark. And then my cousin lives in Maryland, so we drove to her house and stayed over the night at her place. And then the festival was actually that weekend. So we stayed the night at my cousin's, and then we drove to Delaware. And Thursday, we set up our tent. We were camping at Firefly, and camping was really fun. It was definitely an experience. It was a little bit dirty. You have to rough it a little bit, but hey, we made it work. We pitched our tent. We had a little stove that we cooked some of our meals on. It was a lot of fun. So that night, Halsey was headlining, and I love Halsey. Halsey is maybe like definitely in my top 3. Like, she's up there for me. I had seen her once before a few years ago. She was just as incredible, maybe even better this time. The festival stage is really cool. They've got these 2 huge screens, like better than just regular concert screens, and then the stage in the middle. So really there's not a bad spot in the place. And Halsey was amazing. She puts on a really good show. She engages with the audience. She's just a badass. Like, it was awesome. So that was Thursday. And then Friday was the day that My Chemical Romance was headlining, but that was later in the night. So pretty much we woke up, made some breakfast, and then headed over into the festival. It was a short walk from the campground. And during the daytime are a lot of kind of lesser known artists. So I didn't really know the daytime performers as well, but it was a really fun vibe. There's a Ferris wheel, there's all these food stands. There's so much different stuff at the festival besides just the main stage. There's actually multiple stages where people are performing. There's a lot of lights. If you've never been to a festival, I would highly recommend it just for the experience if you like music. So the daytime was a cool vibe. We pretty much just sat on the lawn and chilled and listened to the music. And then that evening, there was a few bands that we knew. All Time Low, which was one of my favorite bands in high school. They were really good. And then Avril Lavigne performed, which I loved Avril Lavigne growing up as well. She played a lot of her older stuff, really fun show. And then My Chemical Romance was the headliner that night. So we got there early so that we could get a good spot in the stage, and we kind of like squeezed our way through the crowd and made our way as close to the front as we could. When I tell you guys that this show was packed, we were like packed in like sardines, like shoulder to shoulder. I could barely move my arms. I could barely it was a little tight, but we tried to get as close as we could, and it was awesome. There were people crowd surfing. Gerard wore a skirt and a little scarf. No explanation whatsoever. He just wears whatever he wants, and he looked fabulous. I was loving it. They put on an amazing show, very diverse set list, so it was awesome. Now, I know people think I'm a little bit crazy for seeing them 3 times, but I don't know if they're gonna be touring again. I hope so. They did release one single. It's called Foundations of Decay. They released that earlier this year, and it's actually really good. Sometimes I get a little nervous when my favorite bands release new music because you want them to live up to your expectation of them, and it's always a risk, right? But the song's really good, so I'm hoping that that single means that more new music is coming. Of course, they wanted to fully tour their older albums and like get everybody excited that they're back, so I'm really hoping that new music will be released, and hopefully I'll have the chance to see them again someday. And then after the My Chem show on Friday night, we actually went over to a different stage at the festival, and Zed was DJing, so that was cool to see. It was kind of like a rave. The festival was a really cool mix of like mostly rock bands, but also some pop and a little bit of electronic DJ, that kind of stuff. So at Zed's show, there were a lot of really cool lights. We didn't really get up close, but you didn't have to. The vibe, the energy, everything was just really cool. So then on Saturday, Green Day was the headliner. And Saturday, of course, is the most packed day of the festival because people are coming in just for the day as well. Again, we kind of just hung out during the daytime, and we would go back around dinner time to eat some food, and we had to kind of be strategic because they play music all day and sometimes multiple bands are playing at once. So they have this app where you can look at the schedule, and we kind of planned out what shows we wanted to see. I wanted to see Bleachers. I'm not a huge fan, but I do know a couple songs, and they put on a good show. They played a lot of saxophone in their set, which I thought was really fun. And then after Bleachers, Weezer played, and I love Weezer too. They have so much music, so I don't love all of Weezer's stuff, but they definitely played their more well-known songs. And then Green Day was the headliner on Saturday, which was so cool. Billie Joe is incredible, and a lot of these artists that I'm mentioning are kind of getting a little bit older, right? They're in their like 40s at this point, and they're still rocking. Like, Billy Joe was awesome, very engaging with the audience, classic songs everybody knows. It was so much fun. And then finally on Sunday, the headliner was Dua Lipa, which she was the person that I was like the least excited to see. I was still excited because she has great pop music, but you know, of the other headliners, I wasn't as excited, but honestly, she surprised me. There are so many of her songs that I knew and didn't realize that I knew. So if you haven't checked out her discography, go look at Dua Lipa's songs and I'm sure you know more than you think you do. She's a pop queen. She had this beautiful sparkly outfit on. She actually had this stage that was like built to go into the crowd, and so she was like dancing, and she had a lot of backup dancers, and she was like a little bit more integrated into the crowd, which was really cool. So a lot of great dancing, a lot of good visuals, very fun dance music. So then after Dua's set, we went back to the campground, passed out, and then in the morning we took everything down and drove home. By that time we were exhausted. 4 or 5 actually, including the MyChem show the day before. 5 days of just incredible music. Our energy was so high. It was so much fun. I would love to go to another festival. I don't know if I would camp again. I might want to like stay in a hotel just because I felt a little dirty, not gonna lie. But it was fun. It was a good experience. We had a blast. So yeah, that's where I've been for the past few weeks. I'm sorry that I haven't been uploading regularly. And also, as I mentioned, I'm kind of in a transition period where I'm kind of thinking about what I want to do next in my life and with my channel, with my job and career. So thank you for being patient with me as I figure that out. I do really enjoy making videos, so I hope to continue to make videos weekly for you guys, but I appreciate your patience as I kind of figure that out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your support, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!